So, like, does this go into internet tubes leading to clouds?
How many internet people were watching this?
I would love to turn it a little bit, talk to you about your book, which I just finished reading, the Appalachian Trials.
That's the name.
Was that your first book?
Was my first book.
And so it took me, not going to lie, it took me about 2.5 days to read it. So it was very easy to read. For one, I love the way you talk and the way you speak. I can hear your voice in the book. So it's a 1-to-1, which I made it really easy to read your book. But was that a tough book to write?
I think as far as book projects go, it was probably on the easier side of the spectrum. Mostly because I didn't have any expectations for it. I self-published the book, as we had talked about. It's the first thing that I'd ever written. I had developed a little bit of following through my personal website, zrdavis.com, also known as The Good Badger. And I expected, maybe the people that read the website, some friends and family, would read the book, and that would be the extent of it. Fortunately, it ended up being a bigger hit than that, but my expectations were not beyond that at the time. So it definitely took a lot of the pressure off of me, not thinking that this was going to be critiqued by tens of thousands of people.
Yeah.
That being said, I poured my heart and soul into it. Like this wasn't just a project merely to keep me busy. It's something that I wanted to do a good job with, but yeah, I think I'm straying from your original question, which was it difficult? Writing a book is enormously difficult, just because you have to deal with yourself, and that really is probably your worst enemy, your harshest critic. There were so many days where I'd sit down and write for 6, 7, 8 hours, whatever it might be, and I would walk away from the computer screen thinking I just produced 3,000 words of dumpster liquid. Like it was and then you come back the next day and you realize that some of it was trash, but there was a lot of good material in it. So sometimes it takes a little time to let your ideas marinate and actually convey what you're trying to say. But the process of writing a book is an emotional roller coaster, and I'm happy to have gone through it.
In so much that you're prepared to write another book, or is it something that you're limiting that because you'd rather focus on something else?
Although I do enjoy the book writing process and just creation in general, I would never write a book for the sake of writing a book. I really want to feel compelled to explore an idea, and I don't have that right now. I don't have something that I feel that is captivating and something that I have to write about. So when that moment strikes, I would probably reevaluate, and I would be open to the idea of writing another book.
Yeah.
But so the second book is called Pacific Crest Trials, which is just an adaptation of Appalachian Trials. At the time that I wrote it, so I should, state the premise of both books. Appalachian Trials is a psychological... Thanks, buddy.
You got it.
Is a psychological guide through hiking the Appalachian Trail.
Yes. I absolutely got that, especially as we're... How do you say... Is it Katahdin? Katahdin? Katahdin.
Which is confusing for me, because I was just, before we got here, talking about a piece of gear made by a company called Katahdin, which is used regularly on the Appalachian Trail. So, yeah, it does get confusing. But
yeah, I was going to say, the last couple pages as we're approaching the end of your journey... I could absolutely see in my mind's eye that world you were painting of what it means to summit that. Yeah. And when you were telling your body, no, I'm gonna push through this. I'm gonna finish this. Colors flying. But I'm doing a horrible job of painting this. Yeah. This moment when it all came true. You finished 2,060 miles.
About 2,200. 2,000. So the distance actually changes every year.
I blacked out for 140 of those miles.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't present for a lot of it, but the exact number was 2,181 miles.
Wow, that's insane, man.
Yeah. It's the emotional floodgates, I think, open for a lot of people. Certainly open for me. It's just the last month of the trail, I just wanted to be done. Like, I was ready for it to be over. I was sick. I missed my former life. Because I was sick, it became very physically challenging. The last stretch of the trail is the most difficult by a lot, and I was limited in my abilities at that point. So it's just I persevered through a lot, and I was really proud of myself. And like once you hit the end, I think you do a quick flashback of everything that you've been through to get to that moment, and I think it's impossible to not be overwhelmed with the gravity of the moment.
I'm thinking about it, especially finishing your book. You inevitably ask yourself, would I do that? And I think for based on the way you built up to you getting ready to do that hike, it seemed really like the right thing for you to do at that time.
Yeah. Fate works in mysterious ways, but yeah, it was. So before I left for the hike, I was, underwhelmed with what life had in store for me. I was just a couple years out of school, and on paper, I had everything that I thought that I could have ever asked for. A guy from the Midwest, living in San Diego, working for a professional baseball team.
I didn't know you were working for the baseball team.
I was working part-time as a customer service sales rep for the Padres, but I got to work in the baseball stadium. Came with a ton of perks. I got to go watch the games for free after work every day.
Yeah.
I was living with my best friend Chris, who was my best man that you got to meet at the bachelor party. I was dating one of the Padres cheerleaders for a time. Like on paper, everything seeed really good. But
just set life on cruise control.
Yeah,
this is good.
Like even talking about it now, I was like, "Damn, you're being a bitch." How bad could it have been? But I mean, in reality, I was just suffocating myself with work. I was self-employed. Aside from the Padres job, I was doing digital marketing for small businesses, and I just picked up too many clients, and I just kind of have a workaholic ethic, which you can probably relate to a little bit.
You get addicted to the fire hose, that's for sure.
Especially when your livelihood's on the line, it's tough to enjoy the moments where you're away from work because you're thinking about all the things that could still be done. It's a trap.
You're guilty of every fun moment that's not working.
Yeah, totally. So you have to. I'm fortunate that I've been in an entrepreneurial setup now for probably 7-8 years.
Yeah, since I met you. Yeah,
pretty much all of my working life. So I've seen the traps that it can place you in. So I make now a point to have a real life away from my business. Wow, man, I'm really varying this. The B vitamins are making the wheels turn.
They're stimulating the mood portion of the side effects that were promised to me.
I do gotta say, I feel it. Like I can feel it in my inner fluids pretty quickly.
Let's talk about that for a quick minute.
Yeah.
Today we are sampling the A-Team drip. This is one I believe we gave to you before you did the Pacific Crest Trail.
Yep.
Amino acids, B vitamins, calcium, and magnesium, all with a full liter of saline. And so you're getting rehydrated, you're helping your muscles out, you're helping your energy and your appetite out. And all in all, it's probably the one that started the company best, or that helped the company be its best in the beginning. Because when we were talking to pro athletes who wanted to use it, it's the perfect recovery tool or preparation tool. So for us, this is the one that I always hold with a slight bit of reverence to it because
interesting.
I love selling this one to people.
Yeah. If I believe this is going to make me better, and it makes me better, I'm not too interested in the actual science behind it. I know it's a not popular stance, but I'm all about the placebo effect. If I can take a sugar pill and it's going to make me
superhuman,
it's going to make me get the earth-rocking boners because of it. Sign me up.
I was going to ask you, what is your favorite conspiracy?
Ooh, like favorite as in entertainment value, or favorite as
if
in like maybe true? So let's see. I think the moon landing one kind of adds up. I haven't dug in too deep, so I'm not saying that I actually believe that it was faked.
But if it was,
I think it's possible. Like if you just look at the international political climate at the time, we were desperate, and people do crazy things in moments of desperation. So.
Absolutely.
So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I know that Neil deGrasse Tyson went on Rogan's podcast and basically told him that he's an idiot for believing in that. And I'm in no place to disagree with Neil deGrasse Tyson, so I'm prone to think it probably was real.
Here's the best part about Neil deGrasse Tyson. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
If you agree with him or not, because he doesn't debate.
Right, yeah.
Which I think is
he's
interesting.
He's a tough person to debate because he's just so fucking smart, and like he's able to articulate his points so like even like the most basic audience understands it.
Yeah. And that's why he does Cosmos on Netflix.
Yeah.
Which is now in its second season, I believe.
You should get him on for number 3.
I would love to hear Neil deGrasse talk about just what we're doing here with an IV period, but that's for another conversation.
I think he'd be fully on board. That's my conspiracy.
You know what I think about though? If I was going to sell this to someone like Elon Musk,
yeah,
I would say, I know what your plan is. I know you want to be one of the first people on Mars. You're designing cars that don't need fuel the way they do here, because when we get to Mars, we're not going to have dinosaurs and biomass to power our cars with, so we better use the sun. Right? That's why he made Tesla. Okay, if we're going to create an economy that might not be able to harvest trees, well, we're going to need digital money, so there's PayPal, and then Solar City for powering things. He makes an ecosystem. Yeah, I would love if IVs were part of his ecosystem. Sure, where he could infuse a meal for the day in a bag. That'd be cool.
Because when you're an entrepreneur at that level, like your level of efficiency has to be off the charts. There's not a wasted moment in your life, and I'm curious to know what someone like what his health regimen is to function at his level. Like, is he chugging stem cells in the morning? Like what?
Right.
What does it? Because
I drink Soylent Green or what?
Right. Because I imagine he's sleeping 4 to 5 hours a night. And I don't know too much about the particulars of his life.
Do you think he actually sleeps, or is that just for Sunday?
Yeah, I don't know. I know that he tweets on Ambien, so he's taking sleep-inducing pharmaceuticals. Yep. But Elon Musk. That guy's something else, man.
Only because I want people to get a really good sense of you if they're listening in because of how they first came in touch with you, which was hiking. Real quick, what was the scariest moment that you've had on the trail? And I'll follow it up with a question when you're done.
Okay. The scariest moment that I've ever had, legit, was this past year on the PCT, where I encountered a mountain lion on the trail.
I hate that.
Yeah. And it wasn't so much seeing the mountain lion, because it's very apparent that they're out there. Like, you see large kitty tracks pretty much. Yeah, pretty much all up and down Southern California. At least
Who loves kitty?
But it was when the mountain lion was on the trail looking at me, running directly at me, that
How close was this?
It probably got to about 25, 30 yards away.
Dude, that's like right there.
It was too close for comfort, as they say.
Yeah. Were you wearing your brown pants that day?
They turned brown. That's for certain. But I knew it was a terrifying moment, not because of my perception of it, but because of my involuntary reaction to it, which was to scream as loud as I've ever screamed before.
Really?
Louder than I've ever screamed, by a lot, by a margin.
Was it like a metal scream, or was it like a scared dad scream?
It was an
high-pitched little girl scream?
It was a combination of things. So I was with my hiking partner, who was probably 25, 30 yards behind, or further than that, 100 yards behind me. And I had already yelled for him, and he didn't respond to me. And at the point that the lion's running at me, the thing going through my head is there's about to be an altercation, and the only way I'm coming out of this is with his strength in numbers. Yeah. So I just want to get his attention, so he knows something's up. So that was part of it. The other thing was it was just a primal instinct that I need to let this beast know that I'm not going to be your easiest meal of the day.
No. You're not Easy Mac.
Right.
Easy
So
Zach.
Yeah. So the scream originated at the very bottom of my scrotum and reverberated up through my body to the point where it was like an exorcism leaving my mouth. Just filled the entire valley with noise emanating from me. And with that, the lion changed its course and went down to the valley below. And then my original goal of getting Jabba, my hiking partner's attention, worked. He yelled back. He's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I don't know," because I wasn't sure if the
like,
situation
what's it gonna
was.
Do, you know?
Yeah, because the way that he sauntered off wasn't. It was. You could tell he was no longer interested in any sort of altercation, but he also wasn't fearful. Like, he wasn't sprinting off.
He's like, oh.
Yeah. It was kind of like, maybe. I guess we'll think on this one.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's my ultimate nightmare. Online.
Yeah, it was we were night hiking at that point, which is when mountain lions do their hunting.
Yeah.
And that was the ultimate shot of adrenaline. Like, I was on edge for the next 2 hours, and then the come down from that was actually perfect, because by the time we got to camp is when my adrenaline started to wear off. And I just passed out. I passed out so quickly, man. I slept like a dead person. I was weekend at Bernie's that night.
Oh man.
Yeah. Question: do you use a sauna at all?
I do. Depends on the need.
Yeah.
I don't use it regularly.
Yeah. I've been getting into saunas in a very big way recently.
Okay.
A doctor by the name of Dr. Rhonda Patrick, became familiar with her through Joe Rogan's podcast. But she's been a very big proponent of sauna use, and I guess there's been some studies that have come out recently that just show how enormous the positive effects of regular sauna use are. And I'm just going to pull numbers out, but there was the most amazing thing to me was the reduction in all-cause mortality amongst people that use saunas regularly. And I think her definition of that was people that use saunas 4 to 7 times per week, which is, it's a lot of sauna usage, but I want to say the reduction in all-cause mortality. So they isolate for all other variables. They eliminate your alcohol consumption, if you smoke, eat red meat, whatever factors, people think would contribute to health output. Yeah. They just isolate that variable, and it was something, I want to say, like 30% reduction in all-cause mortality just with regular sauna use. So yeah, I've been doing 20 minutes in the sauna probably between 3 and 5 times a week, and it's also supposed to be really good for
your skin, for one.
Your skin, for healing from wounds, new brain cell production.
That would make a ton of sense, particularly for the healing part, I think, because, and again, this is just me throwing ideas of medical know-how out into the world.
It's what podcasts are for, man.
But, here's my theory. You ever had cupping done?
I've not. Okay,
so the principle is that you're moving fluid between the fascia, and you can get this 7 days a week at Denver Sports Recovery. Book online at denversportsrecovery.com.
That's a plug.
Anyway, you can, essentially, it pulls on your upper fascia, and it'll actually pull blood through the layers where there's a fair amount of cohesion, which might be limiting that muscle's ability, the fascia's ability to, I guess, slide against one another. I'm really butchering the function of that.
I follow.
But essentially, it's just helping the layers breathe a bit better and using blood flow to promote that. So they light the cotton ball on your back, move it around, and that's what breaks up that stuck fascia, I guess.
And have you done this before?
I've done it 4 times now.
Is it painful?
It's not fun. Let's say that. But you're an adult and you can do this too.
Right.
And there are definitely some people out there who will like this, and will like the way it feels. For me, I think it comes down to the method. There are 2 types. I understand one is like an air gun, where they just kind of inflate it on your back with that. Mm-hmm. The other, which I prefer, is fire, where I actually recommend my buddy Derek McBride. He's always done the fire method when he does cupping on me, and he's really good at it. He's really quick. Yeah, it hurts, but dude, when he's done and he's moved it around in just the right spots, it looks like someone took like a giant red felt marker and drew on my back, and then that just blows up with the bruise.
Yeah.
But man, you stand up straight and you just feel good.
Interesting.
So I highly recommend it, and I think Derek is out of Fixed Performance Medicine near downtown Denver.
Yeah, I've seen it being done at.
You can also get it at Denver Sports Recovery as well. So.
Yeah. I've seen it being done, just like the weird suction cups all over people's backs at 24 Hour Fitness. And I've been intrigued by it. I know Tim Ferriss has been into cupping for a minute, so I tend be intrigued by anything he's doing.
You know what? I think if you ever want to try it sometime, let me take you.
Yeah,
It'll be
let's
fun.
cup it up, brother.
No, let's go get recovery. I feel like bros should do that. Recovery dates, you know?
Fuck, it's I don't know.
I guess they would call that a mandate, wouldn't
What?
they? Like a man. Well, that's already a word.
Yeah, but like, I'm mandating this mandate. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Man.
people get it.
Bros go on dates.
Yeah, it's I don't know why there's not a better perception of wellness in
And
just
bros.
like in general society. Yeah, why can't we bro out over some IVs and cupping? I'm all about it.
It's just,
Get some green tea
it's just too many rules.
and then go get blackout drunk. Shit.
What would be harder for you today? To write 100 one-page books or to write one 100-page book?
Well, I'm gonna go with the harder one would be 101-page books, because for being totally honest, the hardest part about writing a book is coming up with a title. If I have to do that 100 times, I mean, because I'm gonna confess to something, and I've never spoken publicly about this before, but so I put a lot of time and energy into coming up with the title Appalachian Trials. Actually, my mom came up with it, and she let me use it. She's much more creative.
Your mom sounds awesome.
She's really good. She's very good. She's also an author. But really, literally, the entire book is just plagiarized from 50 Shades of Grey. It's not one of those words are my own. People are just drawn to it because the book is very bright and it's got a good title.
It is yellow.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
It stands out.
I mean, I came up with the title myself by taking it from somebody else, and then I took all the content from somebody else. So it was a lot of work, but somebody else had to do it.
Well, I think you're very modest and you sell yourself short, but that's also part of your humor from time to time. It's self-deprecation.
It's just
It's so much fun to just be aware of yourself sometimes.
It's just taking yourself too seriously is a recipe for unhappiness. I'd rather shit on myself than lather myself in praise because I'm a garbage person.
I treat my mouth like a garbage compactor. My diet, especially, is it has
your nutritional quality gone downhill since you've started Onus? Because I know you're working like a madman.
Oh man,
you're like 6.5 days a week probably.
Learning how to manage your weight through food, that was definitely a lesson because. You wake up one morning and you're like, wow, I literally have done nothing but work for 3 weeks straight.
Yeah.
You know, I was either in the space with nurses, working, talking to clients, selling people on products, just like getting people aware of what we're doing here.
Right.
You know, and then you gotta at the same time I'm doing the social media. There were times where I'd bring in someone to help with that, but especially with a young brand, and I'm like the only person in the company right now who has probably the best sense of what the brand feels like, how we act, what our tone is.
Right.
I know what our color codes are. I know what our font type is.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you've got to produce the content like we're doing today. You know, I don't know if it's going to come out well or not. I know I need to try.
You did a bad job with the guest selection, so off to a bad start. But the camera looks like it's pretty high end.
Well, I'm hoping next time we can do this with puppets instead of our actual faces.
There we go,
That way we can say whatever we want. Actually, I didn't say that. That was Harold the puppet. At the same time, at the end of it all, your diet it's the last thing to think about because food in America, dude, we love food.
We do love food, and it's tough to get good quality food conveniently, quickly. Like, you know, I pull up Uber Eats and all the options that are available to me, like pizza and fried chicken wings, and like nothing that's gonna make me feel good afterward.
But you want it.
I do want it. That's also part of it. Is that they use food scientists to hack our brains, and
that's crazy to me, man. That your food you can become addicted to someone's formula for your food.
Yeah.
You'd think it was just naturally occur. Oh yeah, this is chicken. This is the way chicken is.
Yeah. Well, so your wife she just completed a Whole30, correct?
Yeah. Last year I did it with her. I did Whole3.
Whole3. whole anything is pretty good. But it's amazing once you eat clean for a little while how you stop craving that nonsense.
It's weird.
Yeah, but once you fall off the wagon, it's tough to get the ship righted again.
Let's see. I had another question I wanted to ask you about. What was that?
Is it good?
Still dripping away.
Yeah, I think we probably got about 5 minutes.
He's beating
5
me.
minutes left.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got a heavier flow, man. I don't know.
Let's see. Oh, I always wanted to ask you this one. Zach is the newest color from Crayola Crayons. What color are you like? What color are you in the box?
What color am I like? Well, I think the obvious one is just orange. From the neck down, I'm exceptionally gingery. You need sunglasses to look at certain parts of my body.
Excellent. Do you provide those? Is that part of the fee?
I don't
The friendship fee.
because if you can make it after a day with me and still have your retina intact, you're someone that I want to hang out with. But if I were, I like to pull on the fact that I love being outdoors. So like forest green is a color that speaks to me.
Okay.
And then like you mix that with like a razzmatazz situation, which is like an orangish, pinkish thing. Which is my feminine side.
It sounds rad.
It sounds rad. It's
Like
also,
if I was going to make swim trunks, I'd use Zach as my color.
totally. I don't know what happens when you mix orange, yellow, and green. I think it's just
You get a fanny pack. Actually.
shit. Now I want to get a fanny pack.
You think those will make a comeback? Fanny packs?
I don't. Did they ever leave? I have a fanny pack. I use it all the time. It's so functional.
I have one too.
Yeah.
It's a really nice one.
I got one on eBay for like $20, $15. Let's say $12.
Okay.
I got it for free.
40.
Someone gave me $10 to wear. It's a leather American flag.
to wear this. I swear I didn't choose this on my own.
It's a leather fanny pack with an American flag thing happening, and like it's got so many pockets that if you want to sneak things into concerts, they don't even know where to look. It's you can fit a full beer in there. You can fit a couple passports
it's like a
if you're
labyrinth.
Jason Bourning it.
Yeah.
It's you got labyrinth is right, and pockets are bullshit. Like I can fit keys. Like I can't even really fit my phone in my front pocket anymore without being ridiculously
Is
uncomfortable.
that the X?
This is the 7 Plus, but
This thing is,
it's a beast.
it's got its own area code.
Yeah, but I mean, like phones are too big for pockets now. Like if
Yeah,
you
no
go
one-
out to a restaurant, everyone's phone is out on the table, and I do the same thing. Not because I flip it upside down. I don't care what's happening on my phone. It's uncomfortable in my pants. I mean, this is a really important conversation we're having. So
You know what I like about it though? These are the things that you never hear people talking about.
this is true.
The guy who makes pants isn't talking to the guy who designs phones. Hey,
yeah.
Apple, if you're designing your next phone, why don't you talk to Levi Strauss before you go any further right now?
It's funny
Seriously.
because
Johnny Ive,
I've heard it said, and there's a lot of truth to it, that Apple's now a fashion brand. Like, they're not making the best hardware anymore. Like, even this phone's a year old, and it's glitchy as shit. People buy iPhones because, I mean, all right, so it's got, I think, probably the best UX. Aside from that, it's a status symbol thing. It's easy to use, and they look nice.
They do look nice.
But
I'm a fan of the camera, personally.
yeah, it's a good camera, but like the Google Pixel apparently is every bit as good.
Really?
It's much cheaper.
But the fact they have to say it's every bit as good as
right.
is always giving a
So
leg
it's
up.
still, you're using the Apple standard, but I think there's a lot of ways that the Galaxy is superior to the iPhone from a hardware standpoint.
If there's one thing I wish I could do is I want this phone to be a little more personal, that's for sure.
In what way?
You know, it's the lock screen. It's always what Apple decides is the first thing you're going to see. What if I wish I could download like a little creature that hangs out on my lock screen, and he's like my pet, you know, and like I can just tap the screen when I'm bored, and he like chases my finger. Maybe it's like a little dragon that just crawls around your screen when your phone's locked.
Like an animated Siri that you can. That's an interesting idea.
You know, and then I tap him and I'm like, "Hey, do I have any new messages?" And he like farts fire or something, and that means no.
This sounds like the second coming of candy cigarettes, because if you put that onto a phone that is in a child's possession, they're playing with that nonstop.
100%.
So let's get on the cartoon dragon home screen.
Lock screen,
Yeah.
buddy.
I'm all about it.
I'm glad that there are 2 people interested in this project.
I'm all in. Where do I invest?
Leave a comment if you would like to invest in what do we call it?
Razzmatazz.
Razzmatazz. I like Razzmatazz.
Yeah.
Download Razzmatazz, your lock screen buddy,
Yep.
today.
I'm all in.
From the Zach and Chaz store, which is also closed for renovations.
Are you feeling refreshed? You got a what
You
are
know
these?
what's weird?
Are these full liters?
Yeah, it's a full liter. About halfway through this conversation, like my brain was just starting to really click.
We're just organisms, and we need the right inputs, a little bit of cerebral stimulation, and away we go.
It freaks me out a little bit that if you think about it, all we do as a species is eat things with our body. You know, you can lift weights and stuff, but food is still so central to it.
Yeah.
I think snakes got it right. Eat once a week.
With your post-production skills, you have to interject. Louis C.K.'s got a great joke about people complaining about their life being unfulfilling. And he's like, just eat. Like, just put food in it. It's so easy. Just eat.
That's the purpose.
Yeah, you got to put that joke in because I butchered it, but the joke is...
I'll throw that in.
Yeah, I don't know if you're allowed to do Louis C.K. jokes.
Here's what I'll do is I'll impersonate him telling the joke.
There you go.
And then I'll get sued.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
Louis DL.
Oh, I thought it was Luis C.K. Well, I am pretty much done at this point.
You're dripped out.
Dripped out. You're not too far along.
You
Yeah, you feeling pretty good?
Feeling good, man.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this.
I always get so relaxed after these.
It's nice. You can come in here. You can zone out, watch TV. The last time I did it, I literally worked the entire time from my phone, so it's like I didn't even miss a beat.
Yeah.
Like it's you set up a good environment here.
It's 40 minutes of you time.
Yeah.
That's what I'd love to see.
I know. I need more me time.
Yeah. I mean, everyone needs more me time.
Absolutely.
We are all done. Well, thank you, Zach, for coming
Chaz.
in.
Happy.
I hope we can do this again.
I would love to. Always good to hang out.
Just give me the occasion, man. If you got another book that you want to talk about, or your next big adventure.
Oh yeah, let me plug stuff.
Cool. Go right ahead.
I've got my own podcast now. Me and a friend Juliana Chauncey, known on trail as Chaunce. The podcast is called Backpacker Radio. Mm-hmm. If you're looking to get into the long distance backpacking scene, it comes out every other week, and we just shoot the shit on trails, AT, PCT, CDT, you name it. Mm-hmm. What else is going on? I'm the showrunner at a website called The Trek. That's thetrek.co. Couldn't afford the .com. Also, the .co is ultra
.co
light.
is so much better.
It just gets to the point. Like, why burden yourself with the M? And that's literally everything that people need to know about me.
Do you have another adventure planned, or is that what marriage is?
Marriage is certainly the primary adventure for 2018. I'm eyeing a section hike at the Continental Divide Trail, which is right in our backyard. Mm-hmm. I don't think I can justify disappearing for another 5 months anytime soon, so I'm going to tackle that trail in bits and pieces that I think I can get away with.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Yeah.
I look forward to hearing about that and seeing you always take amazing photos when you're out on the trail too. So
the skill is just to put yourself in beautiful places and point your phone and push a button. I'm not a good photographer, but I'm good at going to beautiful places. So
the king of self-deprecation.
Yeah.
Never shies away from
a
challenge.
I will knock myself down in any situation.
Maybe that's why we get along, because it's so much fun to just laugh at ourselves.
Who can tear themselves down faster?
I bet you I could get most
All right, buddy. Well, thanks so much for having me on.
Absolutely.
Thanks for the drip and the quality conversation.
Again, if for more information, visit thetrek.co, not .com, because that's 2000 and late.
Yeah. If you go to thetrek.com, you will quickly understand that you are at the wrong website. It's some guy's Tumblr page.
And definitely check out Appalachian Trials by my buddy Zach Davis.
Thanks, man.